I'm Bobby Brock. Welcome to the program. Of course, the big story this week that dominated headlines was the Bobby Petrino scandal. As you know, Petrino was involved in a motorcycle accident a week ago and claimed at the time and to his boss, athletic director Jeff Long, that he did not have a passenger during the accident. As it turned out, he did. 25-year-old athletic department employee Jessica Dorrell. Long is reviewing the matter and put Petrino on paid leave. I caught up earlier with David Raath, sports director for our content partner Fox 16 News, for a discussion on the topic. All right, David, putting aside issues with his wife and family, Petrino's actions really kind of undermine his credibility with his boss, Jeff Long, and potentially with players, with recruits, their parents, his staff. Is this something that can be repaired if he's allowed to stay, in your mind?
I don't think it's impossible. I think he certainly has done some damage to his reputation with this. Petrino is the face of the program, and, the buck stops with Petrino. And, these are the kids that he's recruited, the players that are on the current roster. They believe what this guy says. They believe him to uphold a certain standard. And when it comes up that he misled his boss or misled others, even the state cops and whatnot, this just doesn't play well, and it doesn't go over well. And I know recruiting-wise, parents are all of a sudden going to be a little concerned about this. This is a story that's gone national. It's blown up overnight. So this is certainly something that's going to be, it's going to cause some issues, which is why I think Jeff Long, he's going to want to expedite this and make a decision quickly so they can at least move forward with Petrino to remain as coach or possibly as not.
What did you think of Long's handling of the situation in the press conference on Thursday night? He got a lot of kudos from fans as far as I can tell.
I think he did a great job, Roby. He's, Jeff Long is a very detailed guy. He doesn't make rash decisions, which is why I think it was very smart of him to actually sit back, put Petrino on administrative leave, and then let the facts kind of piece together. There's a whole lot of dots here that need to be connected. He's giving himself that time to do that. You could tell he was very frustrated in that meeting, in that presser. I think the events of the day really took a toll on him. He looked exhausted, and I'm sure he was quite disappointed too. Petrino was his big hire, his statement hire, and to this point it's been a fantastic hire. But all of a sudden now he has to deal with these type of allegations and the latest revelations. This is the last thing that Jeff Long wants to have to deal with, knowing that Petrino misled him to his face. And so certainly Jeff Long, I think he handled a tough situation in the best way that he could.
What do you think Jeff Long's options are at this point, both not only legally but also politically?
I think legally right now it sounds like, based on this inappropriate relationship that Petrino says he had with Jessica Dorrell, who he hired on staff, the state says that there is no law prohibiting a state employee from hiring a romantic partner or having a romantic relationship with a subordinate. So maybe on the state side of things, Petrino is cleared. But now you have to look at his personal conduct. I know in his contract there is a clause in it regarding personal conduct, which is totally open to the interpretation of the school. So to mislead administrators, to mislead Jeff Long, that's certainly not something that's going to be looked kindly upon. I know possible things that he could suffer or personal punishment could be, a loss in pay and suspension, and then also ultimately firing, losing his job. So, you never know where Long is going to go with this based on the information he has that maybe we haven't heard about. But things could be bad for Petrino, or he could suffer again, maybe just sit out a few games, lose some pay, or maybe another form of punishment as well.
Arkansas's football program has dealt with a fractured fan base before. I referenced the Houston Nutt years, particularly there at the end. Could we be heading in this direction again? Do you see any kind of win-win situation here?
I don't think there's a win-win situation at all. I mean, everybody kind of wants to look back to the whole Houston Nutt situation and, how the fan base was literally cut in half. Right now, Petrino, the difference here is Petrino's actually winning, and he's winning at a high rate and is experiencing a resounding amount of success. The problem is now all of a sudden you've got these, the infidelity and the lying and the misleading to authorities, at least to the administration there at the school. So, yeah, you wonder, because the fans, as long as you're winning, they can overlook a lot of that. But you're certainly going to have a certain amount of fan base that is still loyal you kind of hate to say, but still loyal to the Houston Nutt regime, even though it's been a few years. So this is certainly something that could cause a problem down the road.